Karmelo Anthony's legal team tonight continuing to hold out some kind of hope for a new murder trial through other appeals, despite a judge denying one for the 19-year-old just last week. Tonight, his legal team is sitting down exclusively with our J.D. Miles for their first on-camera interview since last week's ruling.
You asked previously, was he railroaded? I would say that is putting it lightly.
Every question was on the table when Karmelo Anthony's appellate attorneys made their first public comments about the unsuccessful motion for a new murder trial.
Under the law, we had the burden of proof. It wasn't necessarily surprising in the sense given that there was a limited amount of time.
Lead attorney Russell Wilson was able to introduce into the hearing something jurors who convicted the 19-year-old never knew about during the murder trial. That's the troubled, violent episodes in victim Austin Metcalf's background. You believe that Austin Metcalf's background could have been submitted during Karmelo's murder trial?
I believe that the evidence we put on showed a pattern of conduct that should have been considered in determining whether or not who was the first aggressor in this situation.
Prosecutors responded by also introducing Anthony's troubled past behavior, which his legal team believes compares more favorably when matched with Metcalf's.
There was no arrest in it. He wasn't arrested previously. There weren't issues. Again, we're not going to go back and forth who's worse, who's not. This comes down to whether Karmelo received a fair trial.
That debate over a fair trial has centered around a private agreement offered by prosecutors and approved by the trial attorneys to exclude the background information of both teens from the evidence and let the jury decide solely on what happened during the brief confrontation that led to Anthony fatally stabbing Metcalf.
That jury did not hear all those things that they needed to hear, so there is no way that you can say that this was a fair trial.
If this agreement had never existed, how would the trial have been different?
There would have been a much greater likelihood that it would have been more difficult to strike the jurors during voir dire.
The exclusion of 3 black women from the jury by prosecutors is something these attorneys say will be part of the appeal process, which could be more than a year down the road. If this case was about self-defense, why would we need black jurors?
And so we think a diverse jury should be there, and we think that in light of the information they knew, that there was an issue regarding whether or not they had confidence that African-American jurors would not be receptive to that.
This is a simple question. I don't know if it's easy or hard, but was this case about race?
There wasn't necessarily anything racial said at the time, but when you decide to approach or pick on a person, if you will, what motivates you to choose that person?
It absolutely had everything to do with race. That is the reason why we had this gentleman's agreement. What we're saying is if 4 experienced attorneys couldn't put it in writing because it's too nuanced, too complicated, how is a young man who just finished high school with no legal background, never been part of the criminal justice system, how is he supposed to know what it is, right? He relied on that.
Did he have a lot of confidence that he was going to prevail in this case?
You know, I mean, I think he understood that motions for new trials are long shots.
The attorneys say Anthony's decision not to testify was out of concern that prosecutors would feel free to bring up his past and breach the agreement after the trial judge said he would have to allow it.
You know, I think the overall thing is how much this trial deviated from a normal trial. And that's part with closure, that was part with the shadow docket. And those things collectively, we think, made it such a deviation that it wasn't a fair trial.
J.D. Miles, CBS News, Texas.